Arblaster and Clarke have put together a really exciting potential to buy a barrel or barrels at the Hospices de Beaune Auction, and also for the people who are involved in that purchase to go out to Burgundy and taste their wine, visit other domains and see the region in June. It's been a good vintage in Burgundy. After a long cold winter as we had in the UK, a slow start to spring meant that the flowering was quite extended. Now this can be good for quality because the grapes produced are small and they've got thick skins, and the juice which has been come out of them is concentrated with lots of flavour. June and July had more sun than usual, and although there was quite a lot of alternating rain and sunshine during August, it wasn't a perfect month for wine growers. In September, luckily, the weather turned good and brought the grapes to real high natural sugar ripeness while also retaining some natural acidity. So what we certainly got is a vintage which in the reds is going to produce some wines which are very fruity and delicious for early drinking, and also some well-structured reds which can stand the test of time and can be bottled and kept for several years, 6, 8, 10 years. The whites are almost certainly going to be excellent. It's possibly the best vintage since 2006. The auction is going to take place on Sunday the 21st of November, and it's in fact the 150th edition of a charity auction which is the oldest and most famous charity auction in the world. It dates back to 1859, when the produce of over 60 hectares, that is about 160 acres, of first growth and Grand Cru Burgundy vineyards are auctioned in their barrels in Beaune. And Christie's, here at Christie's, we have been running this auction for 6 years now. This is our 6th since 2005. We've opened the auction up to enable people to buy a barrel or 2 barrels. And what is going to happen is that we're going to taste the wines very carefully before the auction, decide what to bid on, fix a budget, and then buy within that budget, so that there's going to be some delicious bottles for people who sign up to participate. When this purchase has happened, it might be a barrel of Beaune, it might be a barrel of Volnay, it might be a barrel of Pommard, or some combination of these. And we will then arrange to have it looked after by one of the best companies in Burgundy, which is Domaine Faiveley in Nuit Saint-Georges, who are very skillful at this. We at Christie's have used them a lot. They're extremely helpful. And the plan is that the people who are on the trip will, in June of 2011, go out to Burgundy. The trip will be led by Derek Smedley, Master of Wine, who is a very experienced and skillful guide to the region, and he will be your host. And initially, you will go and taste your barrel at Faiveley, and also 1 or 2 other wines. We can be sure that Faiveley will put their pipettes into wine thieves into several barrels and won't let you go just tasting your own barrel. The following day, you'll meet up with me, and I will be delighted to introduce you to Roland Masse, who is the manager of the Hospices de Beaune vineyards, and also he's the winemaker. He's been doing it since 2000, so he's got 10 years vintages under his belt at the Hospice, and prior to that he worked, I think, 18 years for Domaine Bertagnan up in the Côte de Nuit. So he's a very experienced Burgundy winemaker. We will taste a number of other hospice wines in their cellars, and also you'll have a visit to the Hospices de Beaune, which is a wonderful historic building, flamboyant Gothic, dating from 1443, with a museum and some great art. Around this trip will be, of course, the possibility of having some lovely food and visiting other domains. And on one of the days, on the Thursday, there is a visit to the Château du Clos de Vougeot, where there will be a concert given by soloists from the Metropolitan Opera in New York. They're extremely keen on wine, and they have been coming for the last 4 years, A, to increase their knowledge of Burgundy by visiting and tasting with some of the growers when they're not performing that night, and B, to give some fabulous performances. I've attended them over the last 3 years and I strongly recommend them. And it's wonderful music in the cellar of the Clos de Vougeot, which was built by the Cistercian monks back in the Middle Ages. After the concert, there is a dinner, a gala dinner, and at the end of the dinner, or during the dinner, there will be a small charity auction, which in fact I'll be taking, as I have been doing the last 3 years, and some monies will be raised to provide scholarships for young musicians. So, the important thing is to commit to say, yes, we trust you to buy a really good barrel of either Beaune or Volnay or Pommard at the auction, I strongly recommend it. It's great fun. You will have the labels will be personalised. The wine will be looked after by a real professional. And by committing to this, by involving yourself in this, in fact, you as it were, unlock a door to getting behind the scenes in Burgundy, because anybody who's part of buying a barrel of Burgundy suddenly becomes an extremely important client. So on past experience in the last 5 years, I can tell you that people love it. It's also a way of buying early something which is not yet absolutely famous. So 2010 is slightly overshadowed by the previous vintage 09. People are saying, well, I'm going to buy the 09. But actually, the 2010 is very good and it's probably going to come at a very good price. So I warmly recommend it, and I do hope to see you in Burgundy in June of next year.